Hey guys, so I got a request to do a video about my board setup, so I'm going to put together this quick little video here and hopefully get this out soon. So this is the board I currently ride. This is an open source skateboard deck that is truly symmetrical. Open Source Skateboards is the company I run and I build the boards. So it is a homemade board. The width is 8.25 inches. That's actually kind of wide for, so I do a decent amount of freestyle, that's mostly what I do now. And 8.25 is kind of a wide shape for freestyle. Most freestyle boards are thinner, they're like in the 7-inch range, or I guess they're mainly like 7 to 7.5 inches, 7 3/4. But I used to ride a 7.5 freestyle hybrid deck that I used to make, and I liked it because it was really easy to do technical tricks and things that a small board was good for. But I found that I really didn't like it for trying to skate other things, and having a nice wide board allows me to kind of skate whatever I want, and it just is nice to have one board that kind of fits everything. So that's why I ride the 825. The wheelbase is 14 inches. That's something that I kind of just arbitrarily decided. I think my last board before I started making them had a 14-inch wheelbase, and I just liked how that felt, so I kept it. Let me look at my notes here so I do this efficiently and don't forget anything. Alright, nose and tail length. The nose and tail length on this, again, since it's symmetrical, there is no distinct nose or tail. The reason I like that is because it makes my board wear down evenly over time. And it's nice to not have to think about what way my board is facing if I'm trying to do a line or something. So the length of each of those on this board is 6.75 inches. And I like that length because it's not too long where you just lose too much pop, but it's big enough where it provides a nice platform, and the platform stays kind of big even as the board wears down over time. So right now this is actually probably closer to 6.5 inches or so, just because I've been skating it for a while and it wears down over time. Alright, what else do I have on here? Nose and tail angle. So these are the angles here and here, and while these actually look kind of mellow, they're 20 degrees when they reach the full angle. The reason they look mellower and feel even a little bit mellower is because the rate at which they reach 20 degrees is slower compared to most other boards. That's basically determined by the radius here. If you go to opensourceboards.com, you could actually design a board and play with that radius to see what I mean when I'm talking about the rate at which it changes. I like that because it's not too steep, where honestly, it's just what I'm used to. I could probably skate anything once I get used to it for enough time, given it's within normal skateboard parameters. But I think the main thing I like about it right now is it's helpful for creating a good pop angle with these massive risers. So I'll get more into those risers later. Alright, concave. This is I would consider it a medium concave. It drops about 3/8 of an inch from the edge down to the middle here. And lastly, the last thing I'll mention about the deck itself is the profile, so the overall shape. This board it's flat basically from here to here, and it starts to curve in, I think at these bolts. I'll take a look at the drawing later, just to confirm, and I'll post that drawing up here in the video if I remember. Anyways, it starts about here, and the reason it starts here as opposed to here and again I'm referring to the curve, this spline that curves and bends around, is because by starting here it actually helps a little bit with rail flips. If you have the curve start here or past this bolt, it feels almost too stable in rail, so while it's more stable, it's really difficult to flip the board from rail. So that's why it tapers very gradually for the first couple inches here, and then it goes to a pretty normal skateboard shape. And I think that is pretty normal across all boards, but it's something you don't really think about until you try a board that doesn't have it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And it's not super square either. A super square board would be pretty difficult to do rail flips in as well. Alright, I think that's it for the deck. And move on to the trucks now. So these trucks that I have on here are ventures. They're 8 inches wide. They're a 1/4 inch less wide than my deck. Again, that's a very important feature for doing anything in rail. And I'm actually even thinking of going up to an 8 3/8 inch board, just because I think it would help make the benefits of the slightly shorter trucks last longer, because as you can imagine, the more stuff I do in rail, the more the board wears down across the width over time. So that's why I'm thinking of switching to even a little bit wider. Also, these trucks are pretty loose, at least for freestyle, which is what I primarily skate, but I'm not exclusive to that. I mean, I'll skate whatever. But I just like the way a really loose truck feels now. I didn't for a long time. And some people would probably still say my trucks aren't that loose, but they're loose enough where I could kind of carve and sway back and forth and not have to tic-tac like I would on my old freestyle boards. And there's no reason in particular I use ventures. I think I just got these because they were like the first real trucks I ever got when I first started skating like 15 years ago or so. Alright, I mentioned these risers earlier, but you can see there are these big chunky risers on here. These are 7/16 of an inch thick. The only reason they're that thick is because that is the thickness of a skateboard deck, and these risers were made from the cutout of a skateboard deck I made. And I put these on just so that when I do have my trucks loose, I don't get wheel bite, which is when your wheels hit the deck and cause you to stop. What else do I have on here? I think that's it for the risers. Oh yeah, and the pop angle. I have a couple other videos about pop angle, so I think watch those to make the most sense of that. But a mellower kick with bigger risers is the same as a steeper kick with unraised trucks. I think I'm just going to leave it at that for now. If you have questions, you can ask them in the comments, but definitely watch the pop angle video first. Alright, wheels. I really like these wheels. These are the Mode Skateboards 95A 55mm freestyle wheels, and they're offset, which means that the bearing seat, which is where the bearings are positioned, is not in the middle of the width of the board. It's actually offset to one side. This is great for, again, rail style tricks where you're in a primo or rail stand, because it prevents your axle, let me try that again. So the wheels, when the bearing seat is offset, they come out a little bit further, or appear to come out further, and come out past the axle of your truck, which means that when your board's in a rail stand, your axles aren't hitting the ground, your wheels are. So the wheel wears down, not the metal axle. And I like that they're soft too. 95A is the durometer, and that's really nice. It makes the wheels grippy, but they're not like super grippy where you can't slide around and stuff. and it's a smoother ride too, so I find it just more comfortable and more fun all around than a harder wheel. What else? Bearings in the wheels. Right now I have Synopsis Blu-rays in there. I'm pretty bad about taking good care of my bearings. I don't clean them really, and I just need a bearing that's going to hold up to the abuse that I put it through, and these I've been skating for a while now, and they're doing great, so I like those. And I think that's everything. The grip tape is, I think this is Jessup, and I like that because it's not super grippy. It makes tricks like walk the dog and other freestyle footwork better on my shoes, so I want to make my shoes last longer. And I think that is it. So if you guys have any questions about this, please let me know. Leave them in the comments. I could have rambled on a lot longer about all these things, and I left a bunch of stuff out. Maybe I'll get to that another time, maybe not. Anyways, I hope this helps you guys, and have fun, and I think that's it. I'll stop rambling now. See you guys later.